Yo, yeah. What's up, man? This is fellow Z. Stu. I'm a fucking boss. You know, meatball money. Never broke meatball. 2700 top youngin, man. Indeed. So right now, what we're doing is we're actually constructing the new literature release. It's called the Inside Contents 2. And the first Inside Contents that we released was pretty decent. It's 20 poems, and the description of the book is the inside contents, a book filled with clever poetry, deep blotches and touches of sophistication in art stanzas. Sometimes the author feels in this world the average person takes the surface 100, excuse me, the average person takes the surface 100% for face value and never gives the inside contents just appreciation or attention. Yeah, so we just going to double up with volume 2. And you know, as that's the case, we can expect 20 poems as well. We switching it up in this one, getting creative with different styles of poetry. You know, we kind of really usually use free verse, but we kind of you know, trying to do a couple different things. I don't want to spoil it, but for the readers, for the real poetry lovers that understand the art of poetry, you know, you might see a few different styles within this new publication, the Inside Contents 2. Check this out, man. We got a classic record right here, right? The band, the boys, the girls, our thanks to the piano and all that. It's pretty decent. The Georgia Satellites open all night. Yeah. I like the rock shit. Hardcore rock, soft. I like soft rock too. Be tapping in, man. You know. Meanwhile, we got Money and Glory streaming live, man. That's pretty hot. And, you know, speaking of like rock and roll and shit, it's kinda like, you know, we kinda coming with those with that high intensity energy and some of the music that we recently released, which is pretty interesting, man. You know, I'm pretty satisfied with the content that we've been able to push out thus far, you know, and whatnot. And then also, you know, Nightmare on Lehman Street was, you know, a recent single that we just released. That was pretty fire, you know. And that was more so like storytelling, a story of a 6-day story, basically, like a 6-day day after day story or whatnot. So, you know, you get a feel for how that was looking or whatnot, how that came out after the art was finished or whatnot. So that was a decent piece that I was able to finish and really you know, articulate imagination and thoughts into. Meanwhile, I want to jump into equal differences. This is quite a decent publication. You know, and like I said in one of the other videos that I just have released on the ZBE YouTube page, is basically I was trying to give a few details about what equal differences, the gist of it, the background to it. You know, it's pretty beautiful. I think it's very wonderful, actually, because it's like equal differences was written in a prison. You know, was incarcerated in 2014. Equal differences was written at that moment or whatever, and that's the same moment that ZBM was thought of and, you know, brought to life, you know. So I think it was just a beautiful thing, a beautiful point of time for me, literally, a wonderful point of time, man. It was just like, you know, life-changing. So in that sequence, equal differences was created, and, you know, I wrote it down, man. I had maybe like 2 or 3 composition books with it, right? And it just took so long, just going through all of the processes that I've been through and whatnot. And it took me a while to kind of understand, how to really go about it. I contacted a few publishing companies a few times, and they wanted me to email them a manuscript, and I was kind of nervous about it, so I never sent it to them. And then, as I went through a couple trials and tribulations, couple hurdles, twice I lost the manuscript. Well, I didn't lose the manuscript. I lost the version of it that I had already typed up. So I had the book already like 75% typed, the whole thing, and then I lost it once, and then I retyped it like 50%, and then I lost it again. And then before I could even start typing it, I ended up losing the actual physical manuscript of the original copies. So that was kind of like traumatizing. But since I'm so passionate and dead serious about putting it together or whatever, and making sure that it really stick, making sure it's really, something tangible, so to speak, I went ahead and already started it again. So as you can see on Amazon.com, we have Equal Differences Volume 1. And, Equal Differences Volume 2 is, in the midst. I won't put a date on it, but it's in the midst for sure. And we're very proud of it, man. We're very proud of Equal Differences. Like I said, it's a story about inner city, a guy coming from the inner city of New York City, Harlem to be exact, and his name is Courage Major. He's the main character. The secondary main character is Monica Greco. A beautiful young lady. She's from Champaign, Illinois, or something like that. You have to excuse me. The little details will escape me, but yeah. So she's from Illinois or whatnot, and in the Chicago atmosphere of Chicago and Illinois, somewhere in that atmosphere or whatnot. So, and she went to school in NYU, and that's how she got to New York. And then she stayed in New York after college, and she, ended up being in a nice part of Harlem. And, these two different lifestyles and stories and characters, they come together so perfectly in Equal Differences, and their differences are equal in a smallest little ways that make a lot of sense. And it just makes I think the gist of it is just that, finding the equal differences in life to make life seem simple, make life be simple or whatnot. So that's kind of where it's going. And, I don't really want to ever give too much definition or description too much about the book itself, because, I just want the reader, the audience to just read it, dive into it and just find what you find, see what you see and everything like that. So, this is my first novel, and like I said, I already wrote it years ago, but this would be still my first one I published. So, this is how we're going to carry this one. Now, when we work on the second one or the third one or whatnot, it'll be a little bit different. This one's a little personal because I've been holding the manuscript for so long. So, then now that I'm releasing a manuscript, it's a beautiful thing, but it's so personal that I'm just going to release it. I don't want to talk too much about Equal Differences. But speaking of Equal Differences, now I give you a slight gist of it, I'm actually going to read, the first chapter or two. Maybe I'll read half of the first chapter. Yeah, I read the first chapter, and then I start at the chapter 1 and then chapter 3, just so, you can hear the author himself, man, you know what I'm saying? Read the book to you. So this is beautiful. Chapter 1, May 25th, 2014, Tuesday morning, 8 a.m. Monica Greco started her morning by waking up to her early morning rituals, clearing her eyes with her 2 index fingers, yawning, stretching and throwing her velvet blankets off her naked body. Glancing outside her window, she was greeted by the sun as it jumped into her loft. As she got up, rummaging towards the bathroom, she heard a doorbell ring from the elevator leading to her front door. At that moment, she realized she had to use the bathroom. Audibly, she entered the bathroom and did her womanly duties, then cleaned up and quickly went to answer the doorbell. Upon arriving at the voice box, just off to the side, she noticed nobody was in the camera view above, which seemed weird to her. Interest piqued. She furthermore unlocked the door and stepped into the outer foyer, pressed the button for the elevator, waited, and then stepped in to head downwards. As she reached the landing, she was pleasantly surprised to see a large flower arrangement with a smaller bag attachment, all bearing the name Di Talomo Floral Arrangements. Hurriedly, she gathered everything and brought it up to her loft level and into the house. As she set the box and things on the table in the living room, she became overly excited. The note read, "To Monica G, my sweetheart, from Big Daddy. Time, 8:30 a.m. Note, this is just a little bit of what I have had in mind lately. Hope you enjoy." After reading the note quickly, Monica hurriedly proceeded to examine the flowers in the vase it was with and decided it was of the most definite beautiful set of flowers she received as of date. The labels on the arrangement explained that these flowers were called petunias, which are cultivated in South America. The word origin is French for tobacco, and that these flowers bloom in different color variations. Feeling enlightened, she placed them back on the table and picked up the smaller bag attachment, which once opened, yielded a small rectangular-shaped box and another box that was obviously chocolates. Immediately, she reached for the rectangular-shaped box and noticed it had a golden ribbon on it. Removing the ribbon and looking at the contents therein, she dropped the box in astonishment. "Oh, wow." Quickly, she picked up the necklace and began to feel emotional and actually began to fit it around her neck. Yet, as she was in this dazed-like moment of process, she thought she couldn't help but begin to think, was his intentions to make me feel appreciated, or is he trying to manipulate me somehow? Meanwhile, she decided to postpone calling him or continuing that line of contemplation so she could stay on schedule. Now, right here in this beginning of the first chapter, this is the character Monica Greco, and she's waking up in her loft or whatever, and before she gets to the bathroom to use the bathroom, she gets surprised with some gifts, flower arrangements and things like that, and a necklace, right? And she's contemplating if this is out of pure good energy, pure love, pure romance, or if this is like something of what was the exact word? Manipulation or whatever. So she's deciphering between those two things right there, and that little inference right there is kind of a good inference that the reader can take from the author, basically, right, and whatnot, about the relationship that she's having with this guy. And the next section of this chapter, it breaks down this guy that she's in this relationship with, and his name is Devin Sparrow, apparently, or something like that, right? So Devin Sparrow is this guy's name that she's in his relationship with. This is the beginning of the book, and she's already kind of not sure of what his intentions are. So that's pretty decent. We're going to leave it there. Now, Devin Sparrow is an interesting character in this Equal Differences book as well. So stay tuned more for Devin Sparrow, and you'll see how interesting the plot gets and whatnot. So we're going to jump to chapter 3, and we're introducing the next main character. Is two main characters, but we're going to introduce the main character. Chapter 3, May 25th, 2014, Tuesday morning, 6 a.m. Same time, same day, within these first 3 chapters or so. Sig stirred from a deep, quiet sleep. Siggs is his name. Woke up to a very quiet apartment. The very first thing he did was locate his phone and unlock the screen. He pulled his screen down to see his notifications, 12 missed calls and 5 unread text messages. All of the missed calls were frivolous bitches he had no interest in today. His text messages, more importantly, caught his attention. 1. Raina, who was kind of like a lifelong friend and ex-girlfriend, really. Her text said, "Call me, it's urgent." Six brushed that message to the side for the moment. 4 text messages from Honda. Those were the ones that made him get the fuck out of bed. Shit, what the fuck? Where's my wallet at? Where the fuck is this nigga at? Where is H.I., right? As Siggs left his bed and searched the dresser for his wallet and phone, he went outside his room to the living room. Look at this shit. Disgusted. He walked to the front door to see if it was locked. Fuck. This dickhead ass nigga, man. What the fuck? This nigga don't listen, B. Word up. Siggs grumpily thought to himself. Locking the door, walking about pissed, Siggs sat on the sofa, took a deep breath. He was so pissed that he then called his brother H.I. 5 times to no avail. He frequently had to say the same things over and over, like he was his teacher in 4th grade. It was a painful thing for Siggs because he was 29 and H.I. was 26. Things like repetitive instructions were supposed to be a thing of the past, in his opinion. All I asked this dummy is to lock the door behind himself. I'm in here sleeping like a baby, and he just leaves the doors unlocked. Meanwhile, Siggs phoned Honda. "Hey, yo, what's good? What's the idea? What's the deal?" "Oh, you know, I'm bullshitting. I was waiting for your unavailable ass to hit me back or something. Shit, I'm getting tired, nigga. People keep calling me and shit." This was Honda's way of saying he was running out of cocaine and people were still trying to buy. "Okay, yeah, cool. I'm going to be about an hour and a half. What's shit looking like down there?" Siggs went about the conversation for a moment more, then hung up. Quickly showering and dressing in his overcoat and chino pants with Ralph Lauren loafers, Siggs grabbed his .45 caliber pistol and headed for the door. This is the North Tower where Siggs laid his head on the average night. He was in control of the North Tower of the projects and in partnership with the guys that ran the South Tower. Honda was actually set up in the South Tower in an apartment where they all prepared their work for distribution. Leaving the elevator and walking towards the doors that led to the streets, Siggs noted everything that happened around him. He felt regularly like invisible people were among him, trying to steal change from his pockets on some CIA, DEA type shit. Meanwhile, he looked up at the benches and looked to see who was playing the benches on this particular morning shift, and then he walked towards his Cadillac SRX 2011 very cautiously. We're going to stop there. It's just a brief overview of the first chapter. So I'm introducing both characters, and this is what I'm saying, you know, when I was breaking it down from the beginning. So here we have Siggs, and, you know, he's waking up in his apartment in his neighborhood, right? And basically he's looking at his phone. He's angry at his little brother, whose name is H.I. He's angry at him for leaving the doors unlocked and whatnot. And, you know, he's looking at his phone. He's checking his text messages. His partner is calling him and texting him. And so he has to run in that direction. And then, you know, they talking about business and whatnot. So, and he's in that mode. He's in that movement. You know what I'm saying? That's where he's at and whatnot. So you see the difference of like how he's waking up, and that's what he's waking up to, and how she's waking up. She's waking up to flowers and gifts and, you know, in a loft and all of that kind of and all of that. So it's like you see the difference automatically from the beginning. And you know, as the book progresses, you'll be able to understand the characters more. You'll be able to become more, you know, in love with the characters. Hopefully, that's the plan and whatnot. So again, we have Monica Greco, and we have Siggs. His real name is Courage Major and whatnot. So we have Courage Major, we have Monica Greco, and since we've introduced a few others, we have Devin Sparrow, which is Monica Greco's boyfriend, whatnot. So then we have Honda, which is Courage Major's partner, so to speak. And then we have H.I., which is Loyalty Major, which is Courage Major's or Siggs, his little brother or whatnot. So there's a few characters at the very beginning that you get to meet or whatever. So equal differences, man. Very, very, very beautiful piece that we putting together, man. It's been a beautiful time putting it together. It's been very challenging and whatnot. So I put blood, sweat, and tears into this equal differences novel, and I'm just glad that it's actually something that people can tap into, and we have Equal Differences Volume 2 coming out in a soon near future, and I think that's going to be amazing. I think it's going to be something. It's going to be something to see, because it's going to take Equal Differences to another level. For as like the first volume, it's just the first volume, so it's like it was like the basis of what's going on, and it kind of was getting deep there. Then Equal Differences 2 is kind of like, all right, it takes you into a whole nother layer of the Equal Differences energy, the Equal Differences vibe. You know what I'm saying? It just takes you into a whole nother energy of it, and yeah, I think it's just going to be entertaining. I think it's going to be something that you might want to read twice or whatever, and all of that kind of stuff, man. So for me, it's like time consuming and everything, because I'm so passionate. I just want to put all dedication into it and everything like that. But that's enough about Equal Differences Volume 2. Right now, what we're working on is the inside contents 2. So like I said, the first one was 20 poems deep. The second one we'll do 20 poems deep again. We're going to try to keep that standard. Whatever we do a Volume 2 on, we're trying to keep the same standard of, how many poems are inside of it, So since it was 20 in the first one, it'll be 20 in this one. And so far we have like 95% of the book done. We just in a different stage of it for as editing, figuring out what we want to add, what we want to take out, and whatever. So we kind of in that phase of it. But right now, I think it's going to be pretty decent, because like I said, I'm trying different things with this one. Outside of just free verse. We're using free verse, we're using narrative, we're using imagination, we're using fiction, we're using nonfiction. I'm getting kind of different with this one. I want to use some sonnets. I want to use a few different styles of poetry or whatever. So that way it's like, I kind of give myself a challenge, man, more of a challenge and whatnot. So speaking of that, I said I was going to let you guys tap into it, but, we trying to get into like the glosses, the centos, the ballads, the abstract. We kind of abstract with it already. It's kind of like why it's so free verse more so. And, we use the narrative and the pantone, something like that. I'm not sure how we really pronouncing that, but yeah, we trying to get in all those. And then we have the villanelle and everything, man. Repetition poems, we trying to, really get that in there. So we just working, man. We're working on the craft, really building. And I think it's very beautiful, because we really at a good spot right now. We had a real good spot with the craft and everything, man. The literature game is like heavy for me. You know what I'm saying? ZBM, ZBE, man. No bending. You know what's going on, man. This shit just ain't stopping. It's been going on like this. I've been doing poetry so heavy, for years, man. Like, so it's nothing new. And far as that go, just stay tuned, man. Like this month, we dropping, and that's just that book right there. But I might double up or triple up. You know what I'm saying? I might go on overdrive or whatever, man. We just cater to the audience, to the reader, man. You know what I'm saying? Or whatever. We cater to the poetry community and whatever, man. That's like the profession, the passion that we have. ZBM, man. No bending. Aside from that, like I said, we just dropped a single about a week or two ago. And that was cool. We let that swirl around, you know what I'm saying? Knock heads off and all that, you feel me? You know what I mean? That's all we doing, man. We dropping bombs, man. Fire department certified. Anything coming out of ZBM Records, you feel me? Fire department official, you feel me? That shit is gonna be, yeah, burn some shit down for sure, you hear me? So, you know, all of that. But, you know, I'm not sure what we want to do, man. We got Born Famous, Born Poor too. You know what I'm saying? We got Money and Glory too. You know what I'm saying? Like, so we got, and all of that is done already. So we just not sure what direction we want to really go in. We have to sit down with the CEO. We have to sit down with the artist. We have to sit down with the manager. We have to sit down with the you know, everything else and everybody else, man. You know what I'm saying? And the ZBM infrastructure, man, and really figure out what we want to do. You know, do we want to drop another EP this week? Do we want to drop an album next week? Do we want to drop an album this week? You know, where do we want to record it at? And all of that. So it's just like, you know, it's so much beauty in the passion, so much beauty in the art, man. It's like no rush. You know what I'm saying? We just fuck shit over, you know what I'm saying, in the last 12 months, excuse my language. But, you know, and you know, we just you know, just really ran down in the last 12 months on, you know, the industry, so to speak, you know, and we just saturated the market. ZBM, Meatball Money, Never Broke Meatball. You know what's going on, man. So, you know, that's kind of where we at right now. So just stay tuned, because the music thing is like, it's beautiful, man. It's wonderful, and it's like we just coming from a different angle. We coming with a different message. We coming with a different vibe, a different energy, man, with the music. So it's like that shit just like, you know, I personally, like, I don't feel like the artist on ZBM Meatball Money has any competition at all. You know what I'm saying? And why? Because we never really comparing anything with anybody, you know what I'm saying? Because ZBM is just a different total monster, man. It's a different total machine. You know what I'm saying? It's just coming from a whole different type of angle with everything, you know what I'm saying? It's like, so it's like really never no worry, no hurry, no nothing, man. It's like this thing right here is just like, it's coming from a whole different, you know what I'm saying? It's like, you know what I mean? It's down even, you feel so like that, you feel me? Like, this shit is different, man. Like, it's like, man, Never Broke Meatball, man. It's like, that was a crazy vibe. Ball of Pain, you know what I'm saying? Then Ball of Pain 2, fresh out the gate, you know what I'm saying? 2022, that was heavy. And, you know, then we got Superior City, oh, man. And that was just like fucking amazing, you know what I'm saying? That was an immaculate project. That's still probably my favorite one. But then we come with Superior City 2, and it was like, damn, what the fuck? I'm scratching my head again, because I'm not sure if that was better than everything. But then after that, we come with Born Famous, Born Poor, and that shit was just like, you feel me? It was like, I'm fucking believable, you know what I'm saying? But then Money and Glory just came, and it's like, oh man, like I think that's better than everything. So it's like, it's just going better and better and better and better and better. You know what I'm saying? We just getting better and better and better and better. And I think that's just the love for the art, man, the passion for the art. You know what I'm saying? We it's just like, you know, we staying true to it. You know what I'm saying? We staying true to ZBM, man. We ain't trying to do this. We ain't trying to do that. We ain't looking over here. We ain't looking over there. Like, this shit just straight ZBM. Like, straight ZBM, man. Like, and it's just like, since that's just the silver lining, the backbone of it, man, it's like, there's not nothing that's really compromising what we doing. So it's like everything is just coming out pure, you know what I'm saying? Since it's coming out pure, it just comes out so beautiful, so fluent, you know what I'm saying? It comes out so immaculate, you know what I'm saying? Like a piece of art, man. Like, this shit just come different. So it's like, for me personally, you know, I don't really have too many ears for too many different artists, you know what I'm saying, nowadays, and too many different musics and shit like that in the rap or the hip hop industry. And that's just because, like, you know, the ZBM standard is just so fucking amazing, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't even want to, you know what I'm saying? We kind of stay glued in with that, you know what I'm saying? And everything like that. I mean, like, so, you know, I'd rather go listen to something else, like a jazz musician or, you know, a fucking pop star or something, man. You know what I mean? Otherwise, it's like, man, we on ZBM, because this shit that's coming out of ZBM is like, you know, like, for instance, I'm fasting. You know what I'm saying? I don't even want to listen to music while I'm fasting, but, you know, if I'm going to listen to music, I'm going to listen to ZBM, man. I feel like that's pure, man. I feel like I can listen to ZBM and it won't be considered a sin. But yeah, so ZBM, no bender, man. Never Broke Meatball Money. You know, Layman Immigrant on Instagram and, you know, whatnot. Charles May Jr., man, on Amazon, man. Check out the author page and everything, man, you know, and whatnot. So, you know, man, Carlos Z, that stupid motherfucking boss, man, a.k.a. Mr. Pazzo. Yeah, you know,